somewhere between exhaustion and hope, on the edge of a city that never remembers to rest, there stands a place that appears only for those who finally run out of places to hide their tiredness. No map points to it, no signpost bothers to exist. Those who arrive come not by direction, but by ache. Their bodies whisper, "Enough, this way." And tonight, your steps have followed that whisper too. There is a certain kind of tiredness that sinks into a person long before they notice it. A tiredness stitched from long nights, unfinished thoughts, and the invisible pressure of being someone others look to for steadiness. On nights like this, when the breath sits high in the chest, when the world feels too sharp around the edges, something rare happens. A door appears, not a normal door, not one designed by architects or city planners, but one shaped by longing, by that deep, wordless truth inside you that finally murmured, "I can't keep going like this." The city hums around you. Traffic grumbles in the distance, that familiar reminder of deadlines, expectations, and all the tiny moments your body begged for rest, but you pushed through anyway. Somewhere far off, an elevator dings, a sound tied to floors you never wanted to be on, tests you forced yourself through, and days where your chest tightened from carrying too much, too silently. But tonight, the sound drifts, softens, loses its urgency. Your footsteps slow, your shoulders ease, just enough for your ribs to remember what a real breath feels like. You're standing at the mouth of a narrow alley, one you're almost certain wasn't here yesterday. A small, rain-washed sign hangs at the corner, its surface catching the dim light, letters quivering, as if deciding whether to reveal themselves to you. Then they do. The sign reads, "The Dream Inn Sanctuary of Ever Reverie's Dreaming Realm." The words glow faintly, not painted, not carved, but remembered, as if the alley itself had been waiting for you to arrive. Rain begins to fall, not cold, but gentle, like soft percussion meant only to slow your heartbeat. Each drop taps a steady rhythm, a natural metronome, guiding your mind from frantic thoughts into something softer. As you step toward the sign, the city behind you dims. Someone slowly turning down the volume on everything you were supposed to worry about. The traffic hum fades, the elevator ding dissolves. Even your own urgency loosens. Ahead, a warm glow flickers. A lantern, suspended beside a wooden door that looks impossibly old for a building you swear wasn't here before. The lantern flickers gently, as if it recognizes you. Tonight, its light is not random. It shines for someone who has carried too much, for too long, with too few places to set the load down. You approach, and the wooden door eases open with the softness of an old friend making space for you. Warm light spills out, candlelit, steady, welcoming. It carries hints of cedar, old paper, and something blooming unseen. The innkeeper stands in the threshold, face lit by the lantern's glow, their eyes warm with a familiarity you can't quite place. "Welcome to the Dream Inn," they say gently, a greeting shaped with certainty, not surprise. This place is part of Ever Reverie, a sanctuary that appears only when your spirit is too tired to pretend anymore. Their voice settles like a warm blanket. If you've ever wandered through the Guardian's Grove, then you already know the kind of healing that lives in this world. Here, rest isn't an escape, it's a remembering. They step aside, inviting you in with a slow, open gesture. This is where the armor loosens, they murmur, and where breath learns how to soften. Again, you cross the threshold. Inside, the air hums with warmth, lamplight flickering in long, slow rhythms that coax your inhale into something deeper. A single candle sways on a small table, its flame sinking to the pace of your breath. The innkeeper watches with soft recognition. "Come in from the rain," they say. "Your room is warm, and everything you're carrying can wait by the door." You step inside fully, and something in your chest unwinds. So gently, you almost don't notice. The door closes behind you with a soft wooden sigh, and the warm hum of the Dream Inn wraps around you like a promise. You don't have to hold everything tonight. The innkeeper leads you down a narrow hallway, a quiet corridor shaped by time, soft footsteps, and the relieved exhales of wanderers who found the Dream Inn only when their spirits finally admitted they could not go another step. The walls hold old frames, each filled with sketches left behind by those who stayed here long before you. Some drawings are faint, barely there pencil strokes, made by hands that trembled from exhaustion. Others are bold and vivid, frozen mid-vision, as if the dreamer paused their world just long enough to remember how to breathe. The innkeeper walks beside you, matching your pace without effort. That gentle intuition, learned only by those who've guided 1,000 tired souls back to themselves. You're not the first visionary to arrive more weary than you realize, they say softly, their voice blending with the rainfall. Dreamers, leaders, creators, you all carry the world so fiercely, you forget the weight counts, even when you pretend it doesn't. You inhale, and the air tastes of lavender, cedar, and something warm and ancient that settles your chest in ways you didn't think possible tonight. Your steps sink into woven carpets, so soft they feel aware, as if the threads themselves remember every wanderer who walked this path with a heart too heavy to hold upright. At the end of the hallway, the innkeeper stops before a simple wooden door. No sign, no title, just soft candlelight warming the handle as if it has been waiting for your hand specifically. The innkeeper opens it slowly. Inside, everything glows, not bright, but in a hushed, golden warmth that invites your breath to soften without asking permission. This room is a sanctuary, not grand, not ornate, but honest, made for rest, made for returning. Lamplight pools across the floor like melted honey. A low table sits near the window with a single steady candle, its flame swaying gently, patiently, as if it's whispering, "You can take your time." You step inside, and your shoulders drop, so subtly you almost miss it. That kind of drop your body only allows when it has finally decided that it is safe. A soft sigh escapes you, unplanned, and the room seems to respond, warmth expanding a little deeper, rain softening against the glass, like it too wants to soothe you. The innkeeper lingers in the doorway, not intruding, simply witnessing the slow unraveling of someone who's held too much for too long. "You've been carrying so many worlds," they murmur, their voice low and warm. And somewhere along the way, you convinced yourself you had to hold them alone. Their words don't demand answers, they just make space for truth. You sit at the edge of the bed. The mattress yields beneath you with gentle understanding, inviting your spine to loosen one knot at a time. A truth rises to the surface, quiet, raw, still trembling from being ignored. "I'm tired of being the strong one. I'm tired of being the one who fixes everything. I'm tired of pretending I'm not tired." Your throat tightens, not from sadness, but from recognition. The candle flickers, casting small golden arcs that sway like a knot of understanding. The innkeeper steps inside now, moving slowly, respectfully, as if the moment itself is fragile. They settle near the window, where the rain paints soft glimmers along the sill. "Most visionaries don't burn out because they lack strength," they say gently. "They burn out because they give it so freely that they forget they're allowed to rest too." You breathe in, and this time, the breath reaches deeper, all the way down to your ribs, to the place that's been hollow for months. Your body begins to understand what your mind has resisted. Rest is not surrender. Rest is repair. The innkeeper's gaze softens. You don't have to earn rest here, they add. Your arrival is permission enough. The words settle through your chest like warm rain. Outside, the downpour softens to a quieter rhythm, almost in sync with your heartbeat. You close your eyes, letting the room hold you, letting your breath slow to something true and human again. Here, your burdens aren't demands. They are stories finally allowed to set themselves down. Here, you don't have to lead. You don't have to solve. You don't have to hold anything together. Here, you only need to breathe. Time unfolds differently inside the dream inn. Not faster, not slower, just kinder. You sit on the bed, letting the mattress cradle the parts of you that forgot what support feels like. The room holds a stillness you haven't known in years. A soft, present quiet that doesn't demand anything from you. The rain thickens outside, tracing slow silver lines down the window. The candle beside you sways, its flame moving as if breathing with you. Steady, patient, unthreatening. For a moment, you simply sit there and let your thoughts arrive without needing to organize them. Exhaustion, relief, something like grief, something like release. All of it drifting to the surface in their own unhurried way. The innkeeper returns with 2 cups of something warm, steam curling upward in soft spirals. Chamomile and elderflower, they say, setting 1 cup beside you. Good for hearts that have been carrying storms. They sit across the room, not too close, not too far. A presence that feels like a steady hand, held nearby, but not pressed onto you. For a long time, neither of you speaks. The rain speaks first, then your breath, then the truth. A quiet tremor in your chest you've swallowed for months finally breaks free. You don't speak it aloud. You don't have to. The innkeeper sees it anyway. The crack in your composure, the softness returning to your gaze, the micro shift in the way your shoulders rest. You've been bracing for so long, they say gently. So many days lived in survival mode. Your mind learned to run long after the danger was gone. Their voice isn't pity, it's recognition. You wrap your hands around the warm cup, not drinking yet, just feeling the heat move into your palms. There's a reason Ever Reverie called you back, the innkeeper continues. eyes soft in the candlelight. You've entered this world before, in dreams, in moments of quiet imagination, in those stolen seconds when you wished for a place that would meet you where you truly are. They lift their own cup, inhale the steam. The grove restores strength, but the dream in, their voice lowers, almost a whisper, is where the storms finally break safely. Something inside you loosens, a knot pulled tight for far too long. Your breath trembles on the way out, not from weakness, from release. The innkeeper notices, but doesn't comment. They simply say, "You're doing exactly what this room was made for." You stare at the window as rain softens into a rhythmic lull, the sky itself exhaling. Inside, the warm glow wraps around you, quiet and steady. You take your first small sip of the chamomile brew. It's sweet, floral, a warmth that travels down your throat and settles right beneath your sternum, where the last of your defenses lived. For the first time in months, your body believes something your mind couldn't accept. You're safe enough now to let the storm pass through you, not alone, not unseen, not judged, just gently, finally released. The room feels quieter now, not because the rain has faded, but because you have. The innkeeper sits near the window, eyes reflecting the lantern glow, the way still water reflects the moon. They're silent for a moment, watching the last raindrops slide down the glass in slow, wandering paths. "You know," the innkeeper begins, voice barely above a whisper, "there's a reason you feel this tired, a reason rest feels like a stranger you keep meaning to call back." You look toward them, not guarded, not defensive, just open enough to hear what comes next. "Leaders carry a particular kind of weight," they continue, "the kind that doesn't show up in the hands, but in the breath, in the spine, in the quiet corners of the mind where pressure builds long before you notice." Their tone is soft, not lecturing, not diagnosing, just gently naming truths your body has been whispering for months. "Humans weren't designed to carry entire worlds alone," they say, folding their hands loosely in their lap. "Your mind is built to share the load, to distribute decisions, stress, hopes, doubts across many hearts, not just one." They tilt their heads slightly, studying you with warm curiosity. Yet visionaries like you tend to clutch everything to your chest. You hold the deadlines, the expectations, the unspoken fears, the fragile dreams of everyone around you. Their smile is small, but full of understanding. "It's not weakness," they say softly. It's wiring. A single torch isn't meant to light an entire kingdom. You exhale, a deeper breath this time, as if something inside you finally accepts the logic your mind kept resisting. When leaders try to carry everything, the innkeeper continues, the body starts living as if under constant threat. The breath shortens, the shoulders rise. The mind becomes a maze of unfinished thoughts. That's not failure. That's the nervous system trying to protect you from the weight you never put down. A long pause, not heavy, just honest. That's why even the greatest builders, the boldest dreamers, the clearest visionaries surround themselves with others, not because they doubt their strength, but because they understand how strength actually works. They meet your eyes again, gentle, unwavering. You deserve a team, they say. You deserve support. You deserve to build your world with people who help carry its edges so you can focus on its heart. Outside, the rain softens into a fine silver mist, as if the sky itself is sighing in agreement. And when you rest, the innkeeper adds, your clarity returns. Your creativity rises. Your vision sharpens. Rest doesn't pull you away from what you're building. It pulls you back into yourself so you can return stronger. Another candle flickers, a warm, steady glow that pools across your hands like a quiet blessing. Just breathe here, they whisper. Let the weight redistribute. Let your mind stop bracing. You've carried enough alone for one lifetime. You close your eyes, not to escape, but to settle. Your heartbeat slows, your shoulders loosen, your thoughts drift from sharp edges into soft, open space. And the innkeeper watches, not intruding, only guarding the quiet, as your spirit remembers what it feels like to finally rest. Dawn moves differently in Ever Reverie. It does not break, it glows, like someone slowly opening their palms around a hidden ember. And so, when morning finally found its way to the Dream Inn, it did so softly, as if it remembered how fragile a wanderer can be. After setting something heavy down for the first time in years, you rise to the hush of the room, the scent of cedar still lingering in the folds of your coat, the faint warmth of the candle beside you, its flame grown small but steady, like a promise kept overnight. Your things feel lighter than when you arrived, not because they've changed, but because you have. A gentle knock comes at your door, more a courteous whisper than a sound. The innkeeper waits in the hallway, hands tucked into their sleeves, eyes soft and knowing. "Good morning," they say, as though greeting an old friend returning from a long internal journey. The world beyond these doors hasn't shifted much, but you, wanderer, you're walking back into it differently. You follow them down the corridor, your steps echoing faintly on the wooden floorboards. The same path the photographer walked not long ago, somewhere ahead. You imagine his footprints still threaded through the morning dust, camera swaying at his side. His loneliness no longer a burden, but a companion. The innkeeper stops at the entrance. "Ever Reverie has a way of giving back the parts of you that you've misplaced," they murmur. "And you found something here worth carrying." You don't know if they mean insight, strength, rest, or simply the permission to not hold everything at once. But whichever it is, you feel it in your chest, settling, anchoring, glowing. You tighten your bag strap. The air is cool against your face. Take your time, stepping back into the day. The innkeeper adds gently, "Empires aren't built in a single breath. Even leaders, especially leaders, are not meant to do everything alone." Everything in nature thrives through systems, support, structures that share the weight. When one branch bends, the others hold. When one wave retreats, the tide carries it forward. You are no different. A small smile touches their lips. May you lead your life with that truth, and may you allow others to walk beside you. You step forward. The wooden floor sighs under your feet. A soft farewell. Outside, the sky is still dark enough to hold on to stars, but bright enough to hint at the day ahead. That in-between hour where possibilities feel closest to the skin. You walk a few paces and glance back instinctively. The windows of the Dream Inn glow like low lanterns, their light gentle, patient, watching, preparing, as always, for the next soul who finds themselves too weary to keep holding everything alone. If this story eased something inside you, you're welcome to linger a little longer in Ever Reverie. Follow the candlelight back whenever the night grows heavy. Another wanderer will soon arrive. Another story will unfold. Another heart will loosen its grip on the weight it no longer needs to carry. And if this tale found a quiet corner of your spirit, leave a small light behind. A like, a heart, a gentle sign. It tells me you wish for more stories from this world, where tired souls find their way home. Until then, rest softly, wanderer. The door of the Dream Inn remembers your footsteps, and the night always remembers you.